Welcome to Shadow Daddy Groupies, a podcast where we read fantasy books. We're Raven and Kelly. Get ready for us to bring you our unhinged book recommendations and even worse taste in men.
Great.
Fantastic.
Welcome to Shadow Daddy Groupies. I'm Kelly.
I'm Raven.
And today's special episode is Guess That Book based on the 1-star reviews. Okay, I saw someone do this on the internet and I had a lot of fun researching this. I gotta say though, some of these 1-star reviews I didn't pick because you could actually guess the book, but just because they were so flippin' funny that I needed to say them out loud.
Yeah, I have a bunch in here. I think they're just being read for the comical.
I do want you to guess the book though, so but they kind of devolve as I go.
So remind me not to back up too far.
I know my outfit doesn't match. I just put two things on that were on the top of my laundry pile. Okay, so I would like to go first, but I mostly picked books that we have done on this podcast. I think there's one book in here that is just a very popular book that we've both read, that everyone knows, that we haven't actually reviewed. But other than that, it's books that we've reviewed on this podcast.
Mine are some that we have done on the podcast. There's not going to be anything that we both haven't read though.
Okay, great. Okay.
First one, go ahead.
So I picked 4 reviews for this book. And stop me when you think you know what it is. My 8th grade science teacher always said, there's no such thing as too many questions. But honestly, he lied. Honestly, how she survived this long, the real mystery of the book. You cannot throw a bunch of monsters and some sexual tension into a half-cooked plot and expect people who read above a 3rd grade level to sing praises. The only consistent thing in this book was my secondhand embarrassment. If the cringe had a final form, this book would be it. And lastly, I'll save you some time and sum up the first 70% of this book. They're on a boat. They're on a horse. Nothing happens. They're on a horse.
Sparrows.
Nothing happens. They're on a horse. Nothing happens.
I was listening to the first 2 of them, and I was like, God, why do these sound familiar? Because I read them.
Oh, you read them.
That one. Yeah. All right, so I will save this one since it. Okay, this is the only. I don't have Let's see. Do I have multiple for these? Yeah, I have 2 for this. So if you don't get the first one, then you'll pretty much 100% get the second one.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay. DNF 19%. Should have known something was off when she said she has nut brown skin. But has that white ass girl on the cover. What kind of nut? Macadamia?
Okay, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Lost the will to live when she shaved her head bald and called ugly throughout the whole book. You are not Daenerys. Terrible experience. I stayed for Draven, unfortunately.
Was this the dragon book that I made you read?
I was reading the review. I was like, did I write that? I'm so glad someone else had those same feelings.
Okay. I also have a bunch of reviews for this one. You'll get it by the last one, but the first ones were just so funny I had to read them.
This one's good too.
Reading this book felt like a Death Eater kept performing the crucious curse on my poor innocent body for 500 pages. Because yes, you're right. I suppose any book could be 5 stars if you consumed it without letting a single thought into your brain.
We reviewed this?
Yes, recently. Watching this book get positive review after positive review might be my villain origin story. And the last one, you'll get it. If it's more like Divergent, if Divergent gave up halfway through and went, vibes.
It's Silver Elite all
Yeah.
day. I have this limit
Some of
is
these were just so good. I just had to read them out loud.
listen, if you don't get this one, I'm gonna cry. It's
Okay,
probably
go
the
ahead.
best one.
All right.
And it actually took me a minute to like get it. And I was like, a menstrual cup would have been a game changer for her.
Um, what's a book where they have their period a lot? I don't remember.
Come on, Kelly.
I don't remember.
There's
What's a book
only
that
there's only one way to cast spells.
Oh my God. Yes. Rebel Witch. Damn, I think I even said something like that.
I mean, wouldn't that really be a game changer?
Yeah, it really would have been.
Instead of, hey girl, can I have your menstrual blood?
Here's my cup.
A diva cup.
Okay. Um, so the first three could be any book in the world, but they were just funny. And then the last one is the one where you'll probably guess the book. Okay. If I had $1 million for every cliche in this book, of which there are multitudes, I'd still regret spending $20 on all 498 pages of this mess. The secondhand embarrassment. Girl, get up. You set women's rights back by a century. Who had a gun to the head of everyone who rated this 5 stars? And the last one. This book was an absolute awful fucking train wreck. I'm amazed that this is one of the highest rated books on Goodreads. The writing is cheesy and mediocre at best. The characters have no personality, and the love interest is a Rhysand cutout that growls just as much as his predecessor and is also described as tan, and we're made to believe he's a person of color. The world building makes absolutely no sense, and neither does the rebellion kids going to dragon school.
There's only the dragon book.
Fourth Wing.
I figured, but I thought that's what they were making fun of. They're like,
No.
oh, they're saying like, oh, oh, right, oh, it's Brett Rhysand and Zayden.
Yeah, yeah.
I got them mixed up together. That's yeah. I was looking at those. I was looking. There's some of these I got like are like big red books and that I was like, wow, people really thought that, and I was like, maybe I just have too high of an IQ for. Just kidding. Okay. I don't know which one I'm gonna. All right. This book might as well be called Blue Eyes or Ocean Orbs because judging from the obscene amount of times they were mentioned, they're practically the main character.
Blue eyes, ocean orbs.
I didn't
Is
remember.
is this a fate inked in blood or something like that?
All right,
No.
here's the next
Who has
one.
blue eyes?
This one's really funny. This book opens with the main character climbing up a chimney, then randomly 50% through the book, she has a panic attack due to claustrophobia, which definitely never came up before.
Is this one of the Akatar books?
Mm-mm.
What other book does she climb a chimney?
It starts in like the very beginning of the book.
I don't know. What is
Yeah.
it?
Powerless.
Oh, I don't remember that part. Okay. This one we haven't reviewed on our podcast, but you and I have both read probably multiple times. I've read it like 5 times. Okay. Pages and pages and pages of soul-sucking, skin-withering drivel. Here's a few words I never want to hear or read ever again. Chucked, gobbled, snarled. Those trash wrecked. I feel like we should also add on that list watery bowels.
Oh man.
Okay,
Akatar.
hold on. It's this. It's one of them. um, I have sat here for several minutes now, staring at a blinking cursor, head propped up by a single hand, trying to work out who is to blame for this abomination. Is it Bloomsburg who agreed to pay for and distribute this garbage? Is it the editor who never once thought to hit Control A and delete? Is it the fandom who willingly took part with their own hard-earned cash to feed the machine?
I don't.
Okay, hold on. One more.
Okay.
By far and away, the worst part of this, however, was the god-awful sex scenes. Just mind-blowing, bad, finger plunging into orifices, men snarling constantly, boobs swelling with blood like that's any way how breasts work. And orgasms so powerful they actually make mountains shake. How can you read this and not start laughing? How did the editor manage to keep a straight face? How much booze was consumed in order to throw this manuscript at the marketing people be like, yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get, boys. Good fucking luck.
I mean, Mist and Fury or
yes.
Super, yeah. That's one of the ones I read too. I was like, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Orifices.
Okay, good. I'm really bad at this one. I haven't guessed any of them.
I think it's just more for fun, but this, I was about to say what this one is. This one is, it's not anything, it's just a couple different little things. One said, sending hate from Ohio. Another one said, she is so brave for publishing this. Another one said, I don't have words for how bad that was. And then I cut off the rest of it. Hold on. Turning venom made Zayden eat ass.
Onyx.
I blame Onyx Storm. We might as well call it one space pussy. What?
Okay. You might get this from any of these, but you'll probably get it from the last one. Okay. I feel so bad for all the talented fantasy authors because how is this popular? The dialogue and writing are so derogatory millennial.
I read that. I read that same freaking one. What was that from? Quicksilver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite one, and I kind of agree, is the MMC. You're telling me 1,000+-year-old and you talk and act like a moody fucking teenager? Here. Is he in his emo stage? What grown-ass woman finds that attractive?
I have that same one saved.
Basically, all of the 1-star reviews are like, I hated this, but the audiobook was amazing. And honestly, they're like, the only reason I finished this book was because the 2 audiobook voice actors were like just so good. And I was like, yeah, that's part of the reason I love this book. Because Anthony Palmini can get it.
I'm going to take that one off my thing.
Oh, here's another good review for Quicksilver. You want me to swoon for a man that calls it wet folds? Not once, not twice, but multiple times? I'd rather peel my skin off and staple it back on inside out. Thanks, though.
Oh my God.
Or this one. If you're happy with fantasy Ozempic, not getting the full picture with detail, but heavy on the romance, you might like this, providing you can get past the clunky writing, cringy dialogue. Oh, and the MMC being called Kingfisher, who is not a Pokemon. Iman. What?
I read that too, and I was like,
It just cracks me up. These reviews are so funny. Okay, your turn.
this one reminds me of a book we've done. 202. That is a number of times the word mate in any of this hellish forms is used in this book. 202.
Is this an ACOTAR book? Yeah. I bet it's the third one. Is it the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wings and Ruin. Yeah.
Raising Run, yeah.
That reminds me of Bile. So today, when I watch our new episodes every Friday, I'll put it on my TV and I'll let it play the most recent one, and it'll play the next ones and the next ones that we have. And my mom was in here and she looked at the screen, and I had Bile, 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 Bile. And I put like this like word where it just kept going and going up the page. And she's like, Bile, Bile, Bile. I was like, listen, there's like 170. I'm not even joking.
References to puking.
I think 81 were actually bile.
Okay, I mean, this is a quote that it tells you what the book is basically right up front. I just finished the Powerless trilogy, and the only logical conclusion I've come to is that Lauren Roberts is a thief. Not metaphorically, not playfully. I mean, straight up copy paste, no shame thief. She hasn't just borrowed tropes, she's lifted entire plots, world building systems, character arcs, even dialogue from not one, not two, not even three, but 5 wildly popular fantasy dystopian series. And she's parading them around like they're original, like we haven't read the very story she's plagiarizing, just with different names.
I read that. I read something like that. I was,
and then this one. When I first read Powerless, I just thought it was giving What a Pad Hunger Games with a little Harry Potter and selection thrown in. What a Pad. I used to love What a Pad. It was terrible writing, but I liked it.
It's not where people just like published whatever. No.
Kind of, yeah. You could publish your own stuff. You didn't get any money for it, but if you got like enough of a following, sometimes you could use that to leverage yourself into a book deal.
I liked Creepypasta.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh, it's so good. It's a bunch of like short stories, but they're like scary stories.
I have a friend, and I can't remember the name of the website, but she was like, "Oh, you got to go to this website. All you do is you enter in either the tropes or like the kinks that you're into, and it'll just like give you a bunch of stories that people have published themselves. Like, they've tagged like monster or, mafia or whatever, and it'll give you a bunch. And she's like, they're almost always terrible. But if you're looking for something very kink specific, all you need to do is enter it in, you'll find a story.
It's like searching for what porn video you want to watch.
That's basically it, but it's like people's writing.
That PB Squimer or whatever guy. What is this? I think PB.
Oh yeah.
He writes short smuts.
I know. We talked about this actually a couple weeks ago because I had just learned I just learned that morning or something. He had said something about how if you go on his OnlyFans or whatever, or his Patreon, he publishes his little short stories, and that I think he got a book deal maybe.
I know he gave shit about the Australian guy that wrote absolutely no books at all and got a book deal.
Yeah, we were comparing him to the Australian guy.
Yeah.
And people were mad at the Australian guy, one, because he's not a writer, and two, because they feel like, why is this mediocre white man getting a book deal when there's like amazing
authors, that
female authors, people of color or whatever, that are like killing themselves to try and get a book deal, and this guy doesn't even write, and he just has a following because he's pretty looking. Anyway,
and he discovered he like found his way into what book talk was and the book
Yeah, he has a book
girlies.
talk following because he does like he like
Right,
gets on a
tractor.
I don't know. But anyway, but my point is that I would be willing to read PB's stuff because he actually is
He's in it.
trying to write. Like he's not just some guy that's getting a book deal because he looks pretty. He's actually like trying to write and he wants to write. And he yeah, anyway. And he's trying to write in the genre that he's interested in. Like he reads these books, he's interested in these books. He's trying to write.
And
And
he's very well aware of what women and other people like.
well, I mean, I haven't read his writing, so I'm not going to say it's good or that he
I
knows what
just
he's
know from
doing.
like
I'm
how
just saying that I have a little bit more like okayness, I guess, with him versus this random guy that's just trying to leverage his social media popularity.
3-book deal.
Yeah.
And there was like everybody was like, "Oh, congratulations, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you." And then one girl commented on there, she's like, "And he's never written anything." I was like, "Yeah, I think God someone else is aware of this." But
I mean, anyway, it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
he might have
We've already kind of talked
submitted
about
his
this.
high school essay. Might have worked. Okay. This is what happens when you give an empty college ruled notebook to a bored 12-year-old who should be paying attention in class.
I feel like this is probably Lauren Roberts. No, go ahead, keep reading. Is that the only one for that one?
This book needs more haters. Let me see if that was the first one. Okay. All right, ready? 7% in, I'm bored as fuck. There's no comedy and light stalking, barely dark, and not a chuckle to be had. Fuck.
Lights out.
Allie had some sort of demonic possessed canine after all, and it would probably rip through my pant leg and slash blood all over the goddamn house for the cops to find.
Lights out.
If this is the type of humor in this book, it's going to be a rough one. 8%. I despise the premise of a very educated, hardworking nurse being obsessed with a faceless man. It's so juvenile, like to the point of taking time out of her demanding job and watching his videos and getting super horny. Just not for me. And I have to read the phrase thirst trap. If I have to use the phrase thirst trap one more time, I might wash my eyes out with bleach. Maybe I'm getting too old for this. I'm in my late 20s.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of nurses I know are super horny.
Yeah. A lot of nurses that I know would probably be like that as well. Not even joking. Sign me up.
Okay. Speaking of, when you're ready to read Caught Up, I'm down. Okay, so I started writing 1-star reviews for this book and I didn't really finish, so you probably won't be able to guess it, but I just thought these were pretty funny. The book was more disappointing than my ex. DNF because I can't stand the FMC. Okay, so when I'm reading 1-star reviews for this book, every single 1-star review basically DNF'd because of the female main character. And how insufferable she was.
And I read this.
Yes, you read this. And I think you basically said the same thing. You're like, if she does this one more time, I'd throw the book across the room. I think is what you said to me.
I gotta look. I remember saying that about something recently. Is that all you have?
Okay. I'm going to paraphrase this 1-star review because I didn't actually write it down, but it was something like the only redeeming quality of this book was the MMC, and he's only in this book for like less than 20% of it.
What was the last book we read?
Who's my favorite MMC of all time?
Carla.
This is Spark of the Everflame. Every single 1-star review was like, I hate the female main character. She's insufferable.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
And in Spark of the Everflame, Luther Corbett isn't in the book that much. he's like I mean, he becomes a huge part of the series, but he
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
not in it
like
a lot at all.
he's not in it a lot. Like he kind of like weaves in and out of the story.
I'm looking at my next ones I have. This one. I didn't get a chance to read it, and I thought this was referring to one of them that I had read with you, but it's still funny. Did not
Okay.
finish 43%. My little toe has more chemistry with the foot of my bed than whatever these two had.
It's a book I've read, but you haven't?
It's a
Okay.
second. It's a second to something.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that um it's the sequel to Butcher and Blackbird, Lark and
Hmm.
Leather, or it's the sequel to Lights Out, Caught Up. No? Okay, what have I read the
It's a
second
book
of?
that I really disliked. Like, I just hated the book.
You
I shit
hated the book.
I shit on the
Rebel
book.
Rebel Witch?
Yeah, what's the second one?
Rebel Witch.
Oh, what's the first one?
Heartless Hunter.
What the fuck is Crimson Moth?
Okay, Crimson Moth is okay. Everyone settle in right now. So the author published the book under two different names. If you buy Heartless Hunter in the UK, it is called Crimson Moth. If you buy it in the United States, it's called Heartless Hunter, but it's literally the same book, and I have no idea why they did it that way. I think the UK version was released way before the US version, and it did so well that they re-released it in the US, and she changed the name, and I have no idea why. The second book is called Rebel Witch everywhere.
Okay, so well, that's it.
And it confused the absolute F out of me because I was like, wait, there's a second book, but there's not. And I like went into a rabbit hole about it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So that was Heartless Hunter.
Okay. That was yeah, that's what that
Yeah.
was. I think I only have one for this one. Okay. Are you is it you now?
Huh?
Is it your turn or my
Oh, I
turn?
don't have any more.
Oh,
That was my final one.
I'm an overachiever.
No, I just was
Okay.
working really hard and you were like, we gotta do this right now.
All right.
I would have kept going.
By the end of by the end, I was wishing for bad things to happen to the main characters. It was
Okay.
fate inked in blood. Okay. Oh, this was a hard one for me to read these reviews.
Because it's one of your favorites.
DNF, 70%, no plot, no character development, no chemistry, incredibly cringy. And if I have to read the word sweetheart again, I'm gonna drag my eyes through glass.
Um, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
my favorites. Are so vicious?
Oh,
You were
eh,
right. You were right. Um,
I don't even remember the sweetheart. Was that Sabine?
Sabine and Merle. But
Did they both call her
Sabine.
sweetheart?
Sweetheart, sweetheart. Oh my God, sweetheart, sweetheart. Come for me, sweetheart.
My little
Um,
dark cinnamon roll.
I am seconds away from dousing myself in gasoline and lighting myself on fire just so I never have to look at this book again. Court of Thorns and Roses. And then I have a Akatar drinking game. What you need: a copy of Akatar, an alcoholic beverage of your choice, and one or more friends to play with. Seriously, don't do this alone. How it works: drink every time you read these words. A shiver went down my spine. My knees buckled. And a heartbeat later, I would never be able to paint it. Male, female, smirk, snarl, prowl, purr. take a shot every time Tamlin or Rysand Rhysand is overwhelmed. Overwhelming sexiness is mentioned. The word claim is used to connect to sex. Feyre uses ableist slurs or blames her dad for being disabled. I haven't even that one I didn't even realize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bonus. Feyre is harassed by Tamlin or Rhysand, but in a sexy way, so it's okay. And Feyre complains about how difficult that ridiculous riddle is. The things
So,
that other people notice.
yeah. I don't think you've read this author, but I'm currently reading the newest Emily Henry book, who I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And I just because I was already doing this, I went and read some of her one-star reviews. And someone made a similar comment. It was like she has this thing in her books where um she makes references to like a pain in a body part, like eating light bulbs in my esophagus, or like something like, I don't know, just like random stuff like that. And so they were like listing off of them, and they were saying, if I made a drinking game out of this, my liver would literally jump out of my throat or something. It was just so funny. And it was like one of those things that I would have never noticed in her books, but someone else did, you know?
It makes
And
it a completely different view. I'm like, God, I want to go back and read it now.
yeah, like when people first pointed out watery bowels, I may have noticed it one time, but I didn't notice that it was in there multiple times. And some people are uh like they count it and it's like the only thing they can talk about.
Three times. Three times. I didn't notice it once.
Yeah. I may have noticed it once, but it like wasn't something that stuck out, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I'm-
I have just three more.
okay.
They're pretty good. So this one, I'm too old for this bullshit. 1 star. Here's a 5 star. Wait, if I say that, it might. And we'll do the 1 star. This was quite literally so bad. It was not only horrible fanfic writing, but an absolute mess of a plot. You're meaning to tell me in just a short few years, this dude went from a semi-normal kid that had no tactical training to this killing machine that has a whole secret organization? You have to be kidding me, right? I think I disliked quite literally everything about this book.
Has to be one of the Fourth Wing books.
No!
No?
No. All right. No. No, no, no. Let me read the 5 star review. It doesn't matter because I didn't remember the guy's name anyways. I touched myself whenever Cade spoke. Those are very different. Um,
Um,
it
Aid.
is the one that we fucking slammed.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Slammed.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Nothing about that book made sense. uh, in my personal opinion.
All right.
Also, I noticed something that on Goodreads, like you can leave a huge ass review. Some of these reviews were like 3 pages long. And
Felt like they were the
I
editors.
and I don't need a review that long. And people, and another thing you could do that I didn't know you could do, when you leave a review, you can leave GIFs. And so it would be like line GIF, line GIF. And I'm like, and it would be like this long. And I was like, this is too much. Too much. I don't think
Yeah.
you need to hate a book that
I
much. Just be like, I hated it.
I some of them, if they went on for too long, I just looked at it and I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
next.
I know you're not an Emily Henry book, but here is the review. Um, Here's a question. Is it all possible for Emily Henry characters to have a thought, idea, or experience without corresponding intense physical reactions? Literally every statement comes with a dramatic physical event. Her heart at any given time fluttered, thrashed, raced, shot up into her throat, unzipped, lurched, tightened, cracked, vibrated, and twisted. At one time, pesky hope climbed into her ribs, and another, there was a low yearning ache that she felt in her ribs. A lump of emotion climbed into her esophagus. She felt like she swallowed a light bulb. Characters swallowed a lot in general. She felt stabbed in the sternum. A brow was grooved with concern, and later, grooves at the inside of the brow softened. Characters were constantly blushing, flushing, and when they weren't specifically doing that, heat was rushing and rising. I just thought that was funny. Like, you took a lot of time to like highlight these.
Oh my God, it sounds like a lot of books that I've read.
I mean, yeah, but how many? Okay,